Today we'll be reviewing your airports once again. First up we have Thornton Town International Airport, located in Australia. I like the AstroTurf modeling grass, extensive ground markings on the apron. You could consider redoing the runway markings and make them a little bit less fat. Also, you could consider adding the touchdown zone markings and the aiming point, plus the runway number is in front of the threshold marking. In this case, it's the other way around. This is KTC International Airport, fully made out of paper. You've got a lovely A380 with the new Emirates livery. Please give some texture to the terminal, consider adding windows, jetways, and also the airport apron is now white, which you could consider coloring a tint of grey. Next up we have, and I hope I pronounce it well, Abersoch Airport in North Wales. It is a shame that you didn't provide many pictures, because from the few images you provided, your airport already looks very good, but there isn't an overview shot or any more than the 4 pictures we have here. Though your airport already looks lovely with great amounts of ground service equipment, all the detail around the airport, like the blast fences in the background and the modeling grass with the plant on it, here look really detailed and really good. What also gives a nice effect to these pictures is the background. Next we take a quick look at Sydney Kingsford Smith Airport. It's made out of scrap parts of cardboard. My biggest tip for you would be add ground markings and give your terminal some color. Up next we have Citrus Airport. It is, I think, made out of Darren planes. They come in sets with some ground service equipment, cones and other elements that you can put in your airport. What you could consider adding to your airport are taxiway lines from the aircraft stands all the way to the runway. More models and ground equipment should be on the way to this airport, so I'm sure this one's gonna look great in the future. Up next we have O'Hare International Airport, consisting of buildings from different airports like the London Heathrow Air Traffic Control Tower. What I really like are the palm trees on your airport. They give off nice tropical vibes. A tip for you would be to color the ground a tint of grey, because every airport has either a asphalt or concrete ground. This tip doesn't only apply to you, but it applies to many airports that I already reviewed. Next up we have La Hernando Airport. Once again, make the white ground a tint of grey or black, just like you did with the runway. Also, the green part here, guess it or not, you could replace with modeling grass. I am really curious how these airplanes get into position. Do they like reverse park into their spot? The air traffic control tower looks neat, just as all the Lego's ground service equipment. Next we have Minakan International Airport in the Caribbean, with a great variety of model aircraft. A lot of buildings all folded out of paper, though you could pay a bit more attention to the ground markings. First of all, use a ruler to draw straight lines, and next to the yellow lines you can add a lot more ground markings. This not only goes for you, but it goes for a lot of airports. The taxiway line here is surrounded by a red line, which you can adjust to the width of the aircraft and length of it. The red part here is where the jetway is standing. The white boxes here are spaces where ground service equipment can park. And the red squares with circles in them are fuel spots where fuel can be pumped out of the ground. Also, don't forget your gate markings, like the number of the gate, in this case A124. And at the end of the taxiway line, you can add multiple stops for different types of aircraft. Here we have Liberty International Airport. I already can see a great use of modeling grass, great looking terminal buildings, and quite some ground service equipment driving around. I think these 3D printed terminal buildings really look good. Though also for you, add more ground markings. What I just described about the aircraft stand, but also the taxiway lines, I do see them, but they should stand out a bit more. A Uniposca marker like this one is a great paint marker to apply markings to your airport. Here we have Delastic International Airport in Western Australia. Thank you for adding modeling grass to your airport. It looks really good. So do the ground markings. I like this black spot here of the rubber of the aircraft's tires on the runway. At night the airport is beautifully lit up by several LED lights. Overall a great airport. Here we have Satkovsky International Airport. I really like this sail for American Airlines. For you also, add more airport markings, also add ground service equipment and add some texture to the terminal. As for now, a wooden block just doesn't bring much realism to the airport. Here we have Madrid Leganés Airport. It is 1 to 500 scale and it's built using Herpa wings, terminals, light poles and ground service equipment, which all look really good. The runway looks great as well. I'm curious what happened with this Etihad aircraft, as it's got 4 fire trucks surrounding it. And overall, this is just a very complete airport. This is HAA International Airport in London. It is made out of paper and cardboard. I think the modeling grass is made out of paper as well. I am not sure what this section here exactly is, whether it are aircraft stands or whether it's a terminal. Also to the terminal here on the right corner, you can add some color instead of a blue box. Next up we have CBJ Airport, which is located in the Netherlands, as there are a lot of KLM aircraft on the airport. I like the layout of this airport, as it fits both a small runway plus 3 terminals with a lot of aircraft stands, which fits a bunch of aircraft. Now you can make it look even better by adding more ground service equipment. Also, I hope you're going to add a roof to this terminal on the right. But overall, this is a nice airport. The second to last airport is Rüdermark Airport in Germany. He's really cleverly put all the boxes of his models underneath his airport. And he's provided some really cool pictures. There is so much detail on the airbase part here. Not only with the cones, also the section here at the entry gate. It looks really detailed. The ground service equipment here is also in the army colors, which is a really cool detail. He's also created his own custom airline. It's called Timfly. He's got both passenger and cargo aircraft. I love the livery design and the aircraft's naming Cargo Bobby 1 and Cargo Bobby 2. At the remote parking stand, he's got this Qatar A340 and he's covered the engines, which is such a cool detail for this aircraft in storage. I haven't even talked about the ground markings, terminal buildings or anything yet, but they are all really extensive and detailed as well. Here on this Cargolux 747, he created a opening door on the aircraft, which is so cool and so creative. The airport is a hub for Lufthansa, and this airport is definitely progressing to the grand finale, in my opinion. Here we have Woodland International Airport, a very spacious airport. I like the design of all the gates. He has used these APA systems, which you could, for example, buy from the scale model store at all of these gates, and I think this makes this airport look more 3D and gives more depth to the airport, and it's a really good addition. At night the terminal lights up the airport, which looks really nice and cozy. You've really got some awesome aircraft on your airport, like these Antonov AM124. My tip for you would be to put modeling grass in these empty spaces in between the runway and taxiways, and maybe in between the terminals and taxiways as well, as a way to fill up the blank space. And the final airport of this episode is Roma Fiumicino International Airport. He's painted a wooden table and modified Herpa Wings aircraft with Hogan Wings landing gear sets to create affordable 1 to 200 scale models with landing gear. The table features 4 aircraft stands with great looking ground markings and quite a few GSC vehicles driving around the airport. I think a terminal building doesn't fit on the table, but something that you can add to create more depth in the airport are these airport light poles, and they don't actually have to work. Just adding fake ones already adds a really nice effect to your airport. Now that is it for this video. I would like to thank every single airport that I discussed in this episode for registering it, and congratulations for Rüdermark Airport to progressing to the grand finale episode. I would like to thank you for watching all the way to the end of this video. I would appreciate it if you consider to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And then I will see you in the next video.